Alrighty, we're back. So, are there examples of how certain cultures, certain attitudes are destructive to the fabric of America? Well, yes. Let me give you an example of one. Yesterday, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, a Mexican holiday. It's not a holiday throughout the Hispanic or Latino world. It's a Mexican holiday. I want to be clear, it's not an American holiday. It's a Mexican holiday. Now, there's a high school called Live Oak High School in California in the Bay Area. And yesterday, which was May 5th, which also happens to be in Mexico, Mexican holiday called Cinco de Mayo. Some high school students at this Live Oak High School. Now, at least for now, California is still part of America, sadly. 4 or 5 high school students wore T-shirts that had the American flag on. It's their expression of their love of their country. These are high school students. The fact that high school students give a damn impresses me. Because normally high school students are not really into that whole thing. They've got their other... If you've got teenagers, you know what I'm talking about. Their agenda is normally something entirely different. They have other fish to fry. Now, but these students had T-shirts on with American flags, and a couple other students had like bandanas on that they had made from like kerchiefs that had the American flag on. And the principal approached them at lunch and asked them to remove their headbands. A couple of students had headbands. And asked the 4 or 5 others wearing the T-shirts with the American flag to take off their T-shirts and turn them inside out. And the principal claimed that the wearing of the American flag in America, in an American high school, was incendiary. Incendiary. And it would lead to fights on campus. Well, the students refused to take off their headbands and refused to take off or reverse their T-shirts. Good for them. Right on. The principal sent them home. Said they could no longer be at the high school. Could no longer participate in that day's educational process. They had to leave the campus. Now, normally, right, high schoolers, you tell them, hey, get out of here. They're like, yeah! we get to not be here today. Right on. They were ordered off the campus for wearing the American flag. Now, you might wonder why that would be. Well, it's because the Hispanic students were angry that the other students, the ones we're talking about, were wearing American flags on Cinco de Mayo. The Hispanic students actually said, this is our holiday, and them wearing that shirt on our holiday disrespects us. We don't need to be disrespected like that. Okay? Now, first of all, when you hear disrespected from teenagers, it's sort of a gang/culture thing. Okay? Because Hispanics and blacks, especially in their teen years, get all into this, yo, don't you disrespect me. And this whole, I'm not going to earn respect, but I'm going to demand it. And if you don't give it to me, I'm going to kick your butt. So these are immediately not the kind of kids you want to pander to anyway, because they're a bunch of little a-holes. So the principal decided that because there's a bunch of these a-holes who, in this case, happen to be Hispanic — there are all sorts of a-holes in the world, in this case, they're Hispanic a-holes — felt disrespected by Americans in America, in an American high school, paid for with taxes primarily by Americans, wearing an American flag, on their holiday. Well, it's not a holiday here. Now, in fairness, the school district issued a statement saying that they disagreed with the course of action of the principal. However, and this goes to the whole reason that we are in this mess, I read this article, and my very first thought was the principal needs to be fired. That's how I feel. That violation is so egregious that he needs to lose his job. But remember, if you work for government in this country, there is no accountability. As long as you're doing something to the average ordinary American, who usually has to be considered white for the action to be off limits, as long as you're doing something to the average American white citizen and you're in government, nothing will ever happen to you. There is zero accountability. I'm Dave Champion, back in a moment.